Making news this afternoon, petrol prices reach all-time highs. A blitz on price gouging announced ahead of emergency talks to address the fuel crisis. 3 members of the Iranian women's soccer team granted asylum change their minds and head home. A drunk driver causes car park chaos in Sydney. And a magical morning, the King and Queen of Denmark begin their royal tour in the Red Centre.
This is 7 News with Amber Laidler.
Good afternoon. Fuel prices are reaching record highs right around the country this weekend as the war in the Middle East rages on. The New South Wales government announcing a blitz on petrol station price gouging, with crisis talks set to get underway tomorrow. Sam Payne has the latest.
Good afternoon. Well, record high petrol prices continue to hit Australians in their hip pockets today, and there's no relief in sight. It is already worse than the initial spike the country saw at the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war, and now one state, New South Wales, is stepping in with a blitz to crack down on companies capitalising on this crisis.
We'll double the number of visits, we'll be monitoring closely any significant abnormal price movements, and we'll be taking very strong compliance action for those who actually are caught in price gouging.
In regards to country's fuel reserves, there is 37 days of petrol, 30 of diesel and 29 of jet fuel stockpiled. It's understood those costs are already being passed down to passengers taking planes. As for steps everyday Australians can do to cut down on the costs themselves,
look to use your car less, look for public transport, look for alternate supplies, use apps like Petrol Spy to say where is the cheapest petrol.
Another move the Albanese government has taken to reduce the continued spike of fuel prices due to this war is the release of so-called dirty fuel into the market. The East standards are set to remain in place for 60 days as the Commonwealth attempts to restock regional towns that remain dry. We'll have a full explainer of what dirty fuel is and what some people are doing to save money at the Bowser in the news tonight at 6.
Thanks, Sam. 3 members of the Iranian women's soccer team have changed their minds about remaining in Australia and have decided to return home. The government says the women were given repeated opportunities to discuss their options, but they ultimately declined the offer of asylum. Isabel Mullen reports from Canberra.
Good afternoon. The Federal Treasurer had 4 words for the Lionesses that have changed their minds, simply saying, "I hope they're okay." The Iranian women's soccer team is in transit in Malaysia. We have these new pictures to show you. 3 more Lionesses deciding to leave Australia after originally seeking asylum. Mona Hamoudi, Zara Sabali and Zara Mashinka arriving in Kuala Lumpur this morning.
I hope they're okay. I am worried about them. I can only imagine the pressure that they feel and how difficult these sorts of decisions would be for them.
Iran calling this a disgraceful failure of the American-Australia project and another failure for Trump. The national spirit and patriotism of the Iranian women's football team defeated the enemy's plans, returning to the warm embrace of their families and homeland. The girls resisted psychological warfare, extensive propaganda and seductive offers.
They are not an honest broker. They are not a good faith actor. They are an evil leadership regime. And of course they would say seductive offers. Freedom would be very seductive for people who of course have lived under this tyrannical regime, especially women.
Iranian state TV labelled the Lionesses wartime traitors after the team refused to sing their national anthem ahead of their matchup against South Korea. Of the 7 Lionesses who originally sought asylum, just 3 remain here in Australia.
To Queensland now, and a woman has died and a man is fighting for life after falling from a walking track in the Glasshouse Mountains on Sunshine Coast. Rachel Baxter is on the scene.
Good afternoon. A very complex rescue operation is underway at Mount Beerwah in the Sunshine Coast hinterland this afternoon. Authorities were called to a hiking trail just after 10 this morning following reports 2 hikers had fallen from the track. An 18-year-old girl has died and an 18-year-old boy is fighting for life. He had to be winched from the mountainside by the Life Flight helicopter. He's been flown to the Sunshine Coast University Hospital in a life-threatening condition. A technical rescue team and mountain rescue team from Queensland Fire and Rescue used an abseiling system to lower the victims off the mountain.
The falls occurred as a result of some light rain that made the terrain extremely slippery. A group of young people hiking, partaking in some healthy activities, and what has happened today is an absolute tragedy.
Exactly how far the two victims fell is unclear at this stage, but police believe it could have been anywhere between 50 and 100 metres. 4 other hikers also required help but managed to get down safely and didn't require medical assistance. The track had been closed to the public following recent rains, with warnings not to use it before its planned reopening tomorrow. A report will be prepared for the coroner.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, Dashcam has captured the wild moment a drunk driver spun out of control and ploughed into several cars outside a Sydney supermarket. Inside one of the vehicles, a baby who was flung from its capsule on impact. Andrew Jenny reports.
Well, police say this woman was drunk almost 6 times the legal limit when she got behind the wheel of a Lexus at Turramurra in Sydney's north yesterday. Dashcam video showing what happened next as the SUV skidded backwards through the parking lot, slamming into other parked cars. Six vehicles were totaled, and inside the car that captured this incredible footage was a father and his 5-week-old baby daughter.
Got a baby in here.
He'd been unclipping her from the car seat at the moment this out-of-control car crashed into them. The impact tossed the baby out of her capsule. Fortunately, she was okay, but witnesses have then described the moment this driver responsible then allegedly tried to flee the scene.
Her Lexus was pouring out coolant all over the car park. She's adamant she hadn't hit anyone and she was trying to leave, so we managed to get the keys off her out of her handbag.
Police have now charged the 62-year-old woman with negligent and high-range drink driving, her licence also suspended.
She's 5 weeks old, and first thing through my, I thought she was actually going to, get crushed in that instant, which was terrifying.
And coming up on 7 News at 6, we'll bring you that interview with the parents of the newborn at the centre of this car park smash, their story and their incredible message of forgiveness to the allegedly drunk driver responsible.
Andrew Jenny there. Well, Tasmanian-born Queen Mary of Denmark and husband King Frederick watched the sun come up in the Red Centre today before visiting a sacred waterhole. It is the couple's first visit to Australia since Mary became Queen. Taylor Aiken reports from Uluru.
Well, day 2 of the Danish royal tour, and it was an early wake-up call for their majesties, taking in the sights and sounds around Uluru, being led on a sunrise tour of the Kunya Walk to the Mutijulu waterhole. Their Majesties met by leaders of the Anangu, the local people of Uluru, with King Frederick even revealing he ate a honey ant, a local bush food.
We just had some ants and with honey ants, and that was quite good.
It's the couple's first visit as King and Queen, with the pair being welcomed by a ceremonial dance, meeting with trainees at the National Indigenous Training Academy before snapping some pictures at Uluru at sunset.
It's absolutely great to be home. We've been so much looking forward to the visit.
The 6-day tour also visiting Canberra, Melbourne and, of course, Hobart, Queen Mary's hometown, for some time with family. But this is also a business trip with a delegation of Danish business leaders and CEOs, along with the Danish press pack, all accompanying them on the trip down under.
Big Danish businesses coming here, and they see very big potential here.
Their Majesties are just about to arrive in Canberra, where they will be taken to a Government House for a dinner with the Governor-General.
Still to come in 7 News, more than growing pains, the debilitating autoimmune disease affecting thousands of Australian children. And the red carpet is ready, but which of our homegrown stars will bring home an Oscar? That's next. A murder suspect has been extradited to Adelaide from Perth over the death of an aspiring young chef. Caleb Leriano was found dead after a car crash at Morphett Vale on Wednesday. Police believe he had been assaulted before the accident. Last night, Alan Kiplimo was flown in from Perth.
Did you want to apologise to anyone's family? Did you want to apologise to Caleb's family?
The 22-year-old will front court tomorrow. Police have located the body of a man believed to be the 77-year-old pilot of a helicopter that crashed near Tenterfield in northeastern New South Wales on Friday. The helicopter had been on its way to Mudgee from the Gold Coast. It's a disease most often linked to old age, but thousands of Australian children are suffering from a debilitating form of arthritis. Advocates now hoping to raise awareness to increase early diagnosis. Mel Whiteman reports.
It's often mistaken for growing pains or injury, but thousands of Australian children are actually suffering from juvenile arthritis. It's not actually rare, but many aren't familiar with the debilitating autoimmune disease. It typically causes joint pain and inflammation, but can affect organs like the eyes as well. The Juvenile Arthritis Foundation is calling for greater awareness so children can be diagnosed and treated sooner.
Diagnose early, you can basically make the symptoms go away, make it like you don't have the disease so the damage doesn't occur, so the long-term disability doesn't occur.
Addie Sharp began showing symptoms at just 6 months old, but it took 7 years before she was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis. At 16, she needed a knee replacement and has had to relearn how to walk 3 times.
I had lost all of my mobility and independence, and there's nothing like being told at 16, your knee has to go. Most of my childhood I just remember like pain and stiffness and just being told I was clumsy and it's in my head.
While Addie still struggles with tasks like writing, cooking and brushing her hair, with planning, treatment and a lot of determination, she's making the most of every day. Addie's studying pre-medicine and preparing for a holiday in Europe. While there's no cure, the earlier a child is diagnosed, the sooner their pain, mental health and quality of life will hopefully start to improve.
Thank you, Mel. Well, the final preparations are well underway ahead of one of the biggest events on the awards show calendar, the Academy Awards, taking place in Hollywood tomorrow, with 4 Australians up for an Oscar. Our US correspondent Marley Hogan has the latest.
It is Oscars Eve and the final preparations are underway to make sure everything is show ready for the big day. This is the red carpet where all of the A-listers will be strutting down, showing off their best looks and heading into the Dolby Theatre, with many of them hoping that they will be the lucky one to claim that gold statue. We do have 4 Australians up for awards. Rose Byrne has been nominated for Best Actress for her role in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. She's up against the likes of Jessie Buckley in Hamnet, who goes in as the favourite, but if anyone can cause an upset, it will be our Rose. Jacob Elordi, the man of the moment. He really is Hollywood's heartthrob. He has been nominated for an Oscar for the very first time for his portrayal of the creature in Frankenstein. Fiona Crombie, an Australian, has also been nominated for production design for Hamnet, and Nick Cave has been nominated for Best Original Song in Train Dreams. When it comes to the major award of the evening, Best Picture, there are 10 films that are nominated, but really it is a competition between 2. One battle after another, and Sinners, they have been neck and neck all awards season. But there is some chatter that Sinners could cause an upset and take home the prize. I will be live on the red carpet from 5:30 on Sunrise with all of the action.
And the Oscars are live, free and only on 7 and 7 Plus tomorrow. As Miley just mentioned, she'll bring you all of the action from the red carpet on Sunrise from 5:30 a.m. Sport is next with David Woiwod. David, a nervous wait for the Swans.
Yes, Swanee fans are holding their breath, Amber. 2 of their biggest stars went down hurt in their statement victory over the Lions. We'll have details next. Plus, purring Panthers. Penrith's sizzling start to the NRL season continues in Bathurst. And the teenager who just rewrote the Premier League record books.
Hello Australia. This week on Sunrise we're live and exclusive on the Oscars red carpet with Hollywood's biggest stars and our own Aussie nominees.
That's right, Rose Byrne, Jacob Elordi, they're going for gold for the very first time, and we have your front row seat to all the action. Monday morning, it's Access, all areas at the Academy Awards.
All your favourite A-listers and the best dressed and the boldest fashion first and only on Sunrise.
And the
Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
Start with Sunrise on 7.
Welcome back. Penrith continued its white-hot start to the NRL season, putting the Sharks to the sword in Bathurst overnight. Winger Tom Jenkins scored his second double in as many matches as the Panthers cruised to victory.
Things have started well for us. Feel like things we worked on in pre-season, things we value are showing up, and if that's the case, then we'll give ourselves a good chance each week.
Yeah, in Wollongong, the Storm piled on 5 tries in the final 18 minutes to defeat the Dragons 46-20. Exciting youngster Suafalongo ignited the visitors, crossing for a hat-trick in 12 minutes.
I've got no doubt he can be our fullback for a long time. As I said, he's got one of the best teachers, in Billy Slater.
Melbourne next hosts the winless Broncos at Amy Park on Friday night. Well, to the AFL now, and North Melbourne has made a massive statement, crushing Port Adelaide by 46 points. The Kangaroos led at every change, stunning the power at Marvel Stadium. New captain Nick Larkey kicking 4.
Stole it, picked their pocket like he found $10 in his jacket pocket. Got it out of nowhere and kicked it.
And at the SCG overnight, the Swans trounced 2-time defending premiers Brisbane by 44 points, but the win may come at a big cost. Vice-captain Isaac Heaney hurt his hamstring, while star midfielder Errol Gundle injured his shoulder.
It'll be what it will be, unfortunately. So hopefully it is quick. If it is longer than normal, well, then so be it as well.
And the Crows broke their 12-year MCG hoodoo against Collingwood, beating the Pies by 14 points. The Reds extended their Super Rugby winning streak to 3 matches, defeating the Waratahs by 9 points at Suncorp Stadium overnight. Tristan Riley looked to have put New South Wales in front late in the second half, but his spectacular try was controversially overturned.
If the referee awards a try, unless it's clear and obvious, it stays a try. Is that not right?
Yeah, Carter Gordon's second try secured a 26-17 win for Queensland. The Matildas are hopeful Steph Catley and Hayley Rasso can return from concussion in Tuesday's Asian Cup semi-final against China in Perth. Coached by former Matildas boss Ante Milicic, the defending champions needed extra time to book their spot.
They're no reigning champions for no reason, and I'm sure he's instilled the belief and the grit and the kind of never say die attitude into China as well.
Meantime, South Korea thrashed Uzbekistan 6-0 in their quarter-final. To the Premier League now, and Arsenal are 9 points clear atop of the table after defeat. Meantime, Manchester City lost further ground to the Gunners, held to a 1-1 draw by West Ham. Oscar Piastri will start from 5th on the grid in this evening's Chinese Formula One Grand Prix. The Aussie ace qualified 1 spot ahead of his McLaren teammate, reigning world champion Lando Norris, but he's nearly half a second behind Mercedes young gun Kimi Antonelli.
Reasonably happy with it. I think that's about where we kind of belong. I feel like in Q3 we maybe got a little bit closer, but we've still got some work to do.
At just 19, Antonelli is now the youngest pole sitter in F1 history. To basketball, and the Kings are the first team through to the NBL Championship Series. Sydney defeated the Wildcats 89-75 in Perth to complete a 2-0 sweep of their semi-final series. Kendrick Davis starred with 27.
Good hustle. Malawatch charging to the hole. Touch the ball.
Southeast Melbourne levelled the other semi-final series at 1-1 with a 101-92 point win over the 36ers in Adelaide. Nathan Sobey scoring a career-high 41 points for Phoenix. And Amber, that is sport this weekend.
Thanks, David. We'll see you at 6.
See you then.
Still to come in 7 News, we'll take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast right around the country. Take a look at tomorrow's weather around the country now. Brisbane, 28 with a possible shower, 28 and mostly sunny in Sydney, a cloudy 29 forecast in Canberra, a late shower or two and 22 in Melbourne, late showers also in Hobart, 20 the top, Adelaide expecting heavy rain and 25, 31 in Perth and in Darwin. And that is 7 News for now. Our next bulletin is 7 News at 6. I'm Amber Laidler. Thank you for your company.
The 7 News app will give you the news you want every minute of every day, including breaking news alerts. Download the 7 News app now.